Is creativity inborn or is inculcated or is nurtured? What kind of mindset you have when you are, exploring thoughts? And I've been speaking to my fellow musicians and poets and other artists also. And there are two kinds of creative work which is emerging out of these times. One is born out of tension, which I have always considered an integral part of creativity. It's like, without tension, even a sitar does not give you the right sound. It has to have the tension, the right tension in the wires to be able to give you the music. If it is loose, it doesn't give you that sound. So that one work is coming out of tension, and which has got anxiety, which has got tension built in. And another kind of work which has been coming out is kind of a self-expression, self-exploration kind of work which is coming out. So Sadhguru, you've been writing poetry, you've been doing paintings. To those paintings I'll come a little later. But what is your inspiration, Sadhguru, when you are writing, you are creating? What kind of mindset you have when you are, exploring thoughts?
Oh.
Now I'm asking Sadhguru is not a spiritual leader. I'm asking Sadhguru as a poet and artist right now.
I don't definitely come out of tension, nor is it a self-expression of any kind. This will… maybe what I say will be little, off-key, or maybe even sounds little stupid, or maybe if you look at it from another side, it may look a bit arrogant probably. But the reality for me is whether… no, you said not as a spiritual leader but this, but whether it is whatever spiritual work we're doing or poetry or this artwork, don't tell anybody, I'm just pretending to be one. Suddenly I decided I will paint something. I've painted many things in my mind, but never painted with my hand. So I just started doing something because there was time and there was paint. So this may sound a little strange, or people may even think I'm trying to dodge the question, but I am not. Let me try to find some kind of expression to this. When it comes to poetry, I'm like… it's like when I write it, I don't even read it the second time and fix a few words or nothing. I just write it and that's it. I will just send it to the office, they will print it and then send it back just to check if typos are there, that's about it. I don't think and I don't write, I don't think of a particular concept, nothing. In some way, it's like I drip poetry a bit. That same thing may be in some form becoming some kind of a painting, which I don't think it's much of a painting, but people are saying it's good. People are buying it for a very good price, so
Yes, I heard something.
that's their generosity, not my artwork. So whether I'm speaking or writing, painting or doing many other things, or I will put all these under the same category. When I drive, when I ride, when I teach, when I write or paint or whatever, for me it's just about the same thing. Something of me just finds… expression is not the word, because if you want to express, you must have some thought or some idea or some philosophy or ideology. It's like I drip these things, it's more of a drip than an expression. Well, sometimes if the situation… not me, I'm always willing. If the situation is willing, I will become a torrent, otherwise I will drip.
Yeah, Sadhguru, for you, what I am I will, of course, you are humble, so you will not say that. But people, I mean, if you are connected, I had written a number of times about being Zaria. Um, uh, तू 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 जरिया मैं जरिया उसकी कृपा दरिया दरिया. The question.
Please tell me in English, huh? What is that?
So, sir, the question is that the thing is that you are not the electricity, you are the wire, and the electricity passes through you, and you become by accident an artist. That's how I have expressed a number of times. I felt also that where did the thought come from? Sometimes you just feel that you are lucky that the thought happened to you. And so, Sadhguru, one hand, it is about being a medium or being expressing a medium, but where does then the craft come? Is creativity inborn? And we often hear that everybody is creative. What is your Sadhguru take on that? Or is everybody creative to begin with? But then we see some people create better, some people create well, some people pursue that. Is creativity inborn, or is inculcated, or is nurtured?
I feel what we are looking at as creativity, whether it is poetry or painting or various other kinds, whether acting or whatever it is essentially coming from a keenness of attention. Certain people are very attentive to sounds and words and meanings, so they, bounce back certain things. Certain people are very attentive to forms, colors, they will find expression in a different way. Certain people are very attentive to sounds, they may become, may be able to produce music very effortlessly, able to create those things. It is a question of attention. How keen and profound is your attention, that reflects in you in some way. So, a sense of what I've been trying to do, I'm using the word trying to do intentionally because I'm still trying to do, is to get millions of people to become really attentive. Attention without intention, simply intense attention, without any intention, not towards anything, simply attentive. If this one thing people do, every human being will be able to be very multi-dimensional. Creativity is very much possible. It's not that they have to practice, they have to do this or that. What is lacking in human being is attention. So what is taking away human attention is simply their own cerebral activity. People do not know how to handle their memory and their attention separately. Their memory always floods into their attention and clouds it all the time. This memory, this clouding of the memory, people may call as thought or emotion or whatever else they like to, but essentially it is the accumulated memory which interferes with one's attention. Otherwise, it is very natural for you to be attentive. When you're awake, you're attentive. How else can you be? It is only because memory seeps into every aspect. So, this is the fundamental work that I've always been trying to do, that people should be able to separate their memory, their attention and their imagination. Imagination is not a problem because imagination is an extrapolation of one's memory in many different ways. So, this simple aspect of life, that… See, all the animals are very keen attention, but they don't have a vivid sense of memory as we have. They have some memory, but not the kind of memory that human beings have. It's very vivid. Like as we saw it, we can remember, we can replay that whole thing, we can experience things that have happened 10 years ago, 25 years ago. Now instead of using this memory as a phenomenal capability, most people use this to cause misery to themselves. What is it that human beings are suffering? Most of the time they're suffering what happened 10 years ago. And they may be also suffering what may happen day after tomorrow. Right now these times are like that. People are already suffering what is yet to happen.
Sadhguru, very well said. Sadhguru, but so you're saying memory and and you talked about animals who are in a complete state of bliss out there.
No, I did not say they are in bliss. No, they have their struggles, but they are not suffering their memory, they are suffering life. Human beings are just suffering memory most of the time.
So where does the creative idea, see, the desire to self-express, where is it born? Is it born out of a certain restlessness inside or certain anxiety? Because otherwise, why do I want to express myself? What is the need in it, basically? And especially, Sadhguru, in these times, as you said, people are turbulent, and I have seen a lot of expression coming out. If you see social media, and a lot of work has been coming out. All kinds of anxiety has been showing there. I'm not saying there anxiety in work, but definitely great pieces of work also coming out. And one heard that in the times of somebody said that in the plague times, Shakespeare went on to write a lot of stuff, and a lot of art has been born. If you look at Dadaism, which was after the World War, they started saying that why should art be special, and everything which is ordinary is art. So hence there is no art. So a lot of these questions happen when turbulent times comes. So is it important for creativity to have like a lake being shaken, or the calmness has been shaken? Is it important for creative work or ideas or poetry or music, an expression to come out of some sort of turbulence or anxiety?
See, Prasoon, this needs to be explored in a certain way. The problem with most human beings is, unless you put a pin into them, they will be half alive most of the time. Inertia is a choice that people have taken too. Because of inertia, nothing may be happening. So if you sit on a sofa, you become half alive. But suppose somebody put a pin there, the moment you sit there, you will become fully alive. So, some people who are in that state, whenever threat comes, a war comes, or a pandemic comes, or something else comes, or in their own life some tragedy comes, then they will become concerned about life. It's an unfortunate way to be. You must have this concern every moment of your life. Concern is because of involvement, not because of being instigated by some situation. When your concern comes out of instigation of some terrible thing that is happening right now, or it's impending right now, that is not the way. This is why I said attention. What is lacking is simple attention. We know life only to the extent we are attentive to it. What is the depth of your attention? Only to that extent do you experience life. If your attention is very profound, your experience of life is very profound. When your experience of life is very profound, will you definitely express it? Not necessarily. It may find expression in just the simple work that you're doing, it may find expression in poetry, music, whatever. That depends on things. About Shakespeare creating King Lear when plague was on, Alexander Pushkin doing something else when he was in quarantine, well, that's because of time. As I'm painting, I've become a painter now not because I want to express something, simply because there is time. Otherwise, I would be too busy to pick up a brush and do something. So, essentially, if the richness of experience is happening within you, it is always possible to find expression in some way. What kind of expression you will find simply depends upon what sort of attention do you have. Is your attention simply there for everything? Is it like a simple light bulb, if you turn it on, light bulb falls on everything? Is that kind of attention you have developed, or you attend to only certain types? As I said earlier, somebody is paying attention only to the sound. So when hard times come, unknowingly they may start creating music. Somebody is paying attention to only colors or forms, they may start becoming painting. Or somebody is paying attention to their thought process, they may start writing poetry or prose or whatever. So essentially, most people can pay attention only to a certain thing that they think is of interest. To be able to pay attention to anything without discriminating what is of interest, what is not of interest, what is worth your attention, what is not worth your attention, this is a wrong way to look at life, because right now the virus… See, right now I'm going to become extremely unpopular, Just see what a phenomenal thing it is, an invisible damn thing can make the whole humanity go down on its knees. So, the source of creation did not pay any less attention to creating a virus than creating a human being, obviously. So brilliant it is, we have no clue what to do with it. All our science, all our medical science, brilliant people all over the place, we still don't know what the hell to do, simply because virus is outsmarting us completely. So obviously the source of creation did not pay less attention to the virus than it paid to making you. When this is the nature of creation, who are you to decide what is worth paying attention, what is not worth paying attention?